Donald Trump's White House is taking heat today for his ongoing literal demolition of the White House.
He's a builder at heart, clearly. At this moment in time, of course, the ballroom is really the president's main priority.
And as the wrecking ball swings, an insider has come out swinging by sounding the alarm of corruption over the mess, and I have the breakdown for you next. When Trump began talking about the gaudy ballroom addition, he lied and said it would not interfere with the current building, a calculated move to lessen resistance. Fast forward to this week and the massive destruction has been trending, resulting in a reporter confronting him. CBS shares the mini-Trump meltdown that resulted, and then they dive into his shakedown of donors. Have a look, and on the other side, I'll share the insider's much bolder claim.
Your response to people who say that you haven't been transparent enough about this?
I haven't been transparent?
That's some of your critics feel it.
I've shown this to everybody that would listen. Third-rate reporters didn't see it because they didn't look. You're a third-rate reporter, always have been. So third-rate reporters didn't look, but anybody that asked, these pictures have been in newspapers. They've been all over the place, and, you know, we're very proud of it. It's gotten great reviews. It's gotten really great reviews. So I think we've been more transparent than anybody's ever been.
Do we know anything about the donors and the construction company that's being used for this project? It seems so far there's been little transparency.
Yeah, the president, when announcing these plans way back, months ago, said that Clark Construction would be involved. And he's also said that this will be paid for entirely through private donors. And CBS News has reported some of those companies, the who's who of big business across tech, major defense contractors like Lockheed Martin, Apple, Google, Coinbase, to name a few. So again, that's the president's word at this point, that this will be paid for through private donations. But what is really interesting and important to note, Mugo, is already the price tag has increased. The president yesterday saying this is now closer to $300 million. That's up from $250 million is a number that he had cited before. And what a lot of people did not expect, why this is getting so much attention, is they did not expect the demolition of the East Wing. You can hear some of the construction in the background. We can even see it in the distance through the columns. If you look closely, we can see an excavator. So that is just a really striking image that has captivated the public and also lawmakers over on Capitol Hill. You referenced House Democrats have now written to the president, sent him a letter dated today saying that they have concerns about the transparency. I'm going to read a part from this letter. These developments raise serious concerns about transparency, funding priorities, the physical integrity of the White House, and the ethical integrity of the administration. They go on to talk about the project represents one of the most substantial alterations to the White House in modern history.
So that's a good start on the very shady shenanigans and cover-up involved. But former Trump Deputy Press Secretary Sarah Matthews took it to the next level on MSNBC with her analysis of the Trump corruption that is in play.
The White House is portraying the fact that the ballroom is being funded privately as a good thing, but is it necessarily, in your view? And I just wonder, as somebody who went into work there in the White House, what's been your thought as you've watched this unfold?
Yeah, as you mentioned, I think just having that personal experience of being someone who worked in the White House, who walked those hallways, and I believe it's a sacred place. And so obviously I have a special spot in my heart for it, having been an employee there. But I think for the American people, this is tough to watch. We look at these images of the East Wing just being completely destroyed. And this is not Trump's house. This is the people's house. And there can be arguments to be made if this ballroom was necessary. And he could have gone through the proper channels then for this to get approved. But what he's doing, it just speaks to this broader narrative of the reckless destruction taking place under this administration. And not just that, but the corruption. Because you look at the list of these donors, you see companies like Meta, Amazon, Palantir. These are all companies that have bent the knee to him and then have been awarded contracts. And so it just reeks of bribery and corruption. And now it's going to be replaced with this monument to lavishness and the gaudiness of Trump and corruption. And so it's disappointing. And I just think that he could have gone through the proper channels if this was necessary.
Some congressional reaction, and this is indeed a Democrat. It's Connecticut Democratic Senator Richard Blumenthal. Here's his take.
My heart breaks, my stomach turns when I see the destruction of an iconic treasure. I just can't believe that the wrecking ball is taken to this iconic structure that symbolizes America and our strength and culture, and all without approval of Congress or any other elected body.
Sarah, you live this, but do you think there's any way at all to stop Donald Trump from doing what he's doing here?
I think, like Reed pointed out, it's already been done. Look, the East Wing has been demolished, and so there really is no going back. And I think that Trump has shown that he's going to push the limits on everything that he does in this administration. And this is just the latest example of it. But what I will point out is that a lot of Republicans have been out there saying, oh, well, Obama built a basketball court. Trump is just making his latest renovation to the White House. Those are completely different things. You can't compare those two things. Obama painted lines on an existing tennis court and made it into a basketball court. Can you even imagine what Republicans would do if he had completely torn up the East Wing and demolished it? They would be calling for him to have been impeached. And so now you're seeing this with Trump, where he's going to build this $200-300 million ballroom to host these private galas with the rich and the elite and wine and dine people, all while Americans are struggling to put food on the table. And he hasn't followed through on his campaign promises to lower costs for the American people. And so it does just speak to this broader narrative of him not keeping his campaign promises and doing everything to enrich himself. This is an administration of corruption. You look at it across the board, whether it be him accepting the luxury jet from Qatar, him refusing to release the Epstein files, him enriching himself and his allies and making millions of dollars and profiting off the presidency. And now you're seeing this where the White House is literally being put up for sale and to the highest bidder, and they're basically accepting bribes. There's no way to put it.
Let's take inventory. She used the words bribery, corruption, and enriching himself, and earlier I described his move as a lie and cover-up. I say lie and cover-up because a demolition of this magnitude had to be planned well in advance, and there's no way the East Wing and the ballroom could have coexisted on any legitimate plans based on what we're seeing now. This was always the plan. Donald Trump lies about everything, and in his second term, he is living like Benjamin Button, the movie character whose life went in reverse. And as his days wind down, he is reverting back to the real estate and branding instincts that made him famous. And what we might call corruption, lies, and cover-ups, he would simply describe as the art of the deal.